Yep, North Texas week. Get to have another home game, which is great. Got a really good North Texas team coming in here, one of the top offenses in the conference, playing very solid defense as well. Should be a tremendous challenge, but it's good we get them at home. Big conference game for sure, just like last week. Coach Luttrell does a great job of preparing his guys, and I know they had a tough one last week against UTSA. Was in the lead for most of the game, and it was a back and forth game, and UTSA was able to pull it off. So I know they'll have their jaw set trying to come in here and win, and so will we, and should make for a great matchup, and looking forward to it. With that said, questions?
You obviously want to win them all. They're all important. But last week going into UAB, you talked about the opportunity that would give you to kind of be in that driver's seat to try to get back to the championship game. UTSA is 4-0 in conference, and then you and North Texas are both 3-1. Rice is also one loss, but this is a game that can put you in that position again. I guess how much is that the mindset kind of heading into this week?
Yeah, we take it one game at a time, obviously, but we fully understand that to be in control of your own destiny is a good thing, and try not to look past North Texas. Our main focus is strictly North Texas, and they're the same way. I mean, they're trying to control their destiny as well, and had the big win against UAB, which was huge. Also a big confidence builder. They're a really good football team. I thought the atmosphere was fantastic. Fans showed up and did a great job, and we're going to need that again this week because this game will be probably even harder. Our defense had an exceptional day against UAB. Didn't surprise us by any means, but this is a different team in North Texas. I mean, they can run it, they can throw it. The quarterback's a quality player, so it really stresses your defense. And I thought our defense did a great job against UAB. They were able to knock the quarterback out early, kind of made him a little more one-dimensional, and now they got to face a team that can kind of do everything, and there's a reason why they're one of the top offenses. And with that being said, our offense now has to carry the load and try to go score a bunch of points. And Coach Bennett, the D coordinator, he does a great job, and he'll have a great game plan for us. And so we got to have a complete team win. We got to hit all cylinders offensively. We got to play great defense again and get turnovers, but I expect it to be a 4-quarter game for sure. And when you're going down the stretch in conference and everybody has one loss, it means a lot, and we want to still control our fate. So that's the plan.
So obviously defense had like a pretty almost perfect game, I would sort of say. I mean, in the UAB game, just moving forward with offense, what are the steps that need to kind of be taken, because defense is creating those turnovers and they're getting the ball back. And then offense seems to, not always, but just being able to capitalize on those big plays. What are the steps in between?
Well, we had two. First of all, defense wins championships. If you want to win, have a really good defense that creates turnovers, and that's why you win. So that's a big box that we checked on several weeks, this season. Again, I think they'll be put to the test this week against North Texas. Offensively, did some good things, but there's twice where we got the ball across the 50 and didn't do anything with it. Came away with no points on the board. Both those times we lost yardage. So those are the things that we have to correct. We have to fix those things, particularly against a team like North Texas that, they're averaging, they're in the conference, they're in that 37-38 range a game, so we are going to have to go put points on the board offensively, but it's a team game. Yeah, I knew going into UAB they were a really, really good defense, and we knew we needed to run the football. They weren't going to give up a lot in the passing game. Where I was disappointed was, getting the ball across the 50, not putting points on the board. Some of the false start penalties we had a misfortunate Tick got a personal foul on a face mask. His hand slipped up and kind of killed that drive. So we got to limit the penalties. I think we had 11 penalties in the last game. That's going to take effect as well. Most of them were offensive penalties. So that, to answer your question, that's how you fix those things. You got to limit the penalties. You got to finish drives. When defense gives you good field position, you got to go execute and score.
The question kind
kind of told us the last few weeks that the biggest thing for your offense right now is to just come out quicker out of the gates, but you struggled again this week against UAB to come out of the gates offensively. What's kind of been the issue there, and what are you guys doing to improve that?
Well, I think we've been better except for UAB. The previous 2 weeks, I think our first 2 drives we did score. So we thought, yeah, hey, we're good in that area. We did go 3 and out against UAB. The biggest thing for me is starting fast. And when I say it may not be on the first series, but early in the game, trying to take control of the game to where it puts the pressure on the opponent. It's more than just, scoring on your first drive. It's how about your first 3 possessions, whether it's touchdowns or field goals, you score, and then the defense holds them. Well, that puts tremendous pressure on teams. We have yet to do that offensively. We may have come out on a first series and scored, and then we go 2 series and punt. Or we might come out on the first series and go 3 and out, another 3 and out, then we go score. So what I'd like to see is a consecutive series of putting points on the board, whether that's touchdowns or field goals, and look up and say, all of a sudden, hey, you're up by 14, and now that team has to catch up. Those are the things I would like to see us do offensively.
Well, last week, heading into UAB, we talked about how well they ran the ball. At that point, there was one team in the league ahead of them in rushing stats, and that was North Texas. What do you see that they do in that portion of the game that's similar and different than what UAB did? What makes them so good in that regard?
Well, Coach Luttrell is he's an O-line running back, run the ball kind of guy. He knows how to scheme you up based upon what you do. He's committed to the run, and he finds balance in what he does with his shots and his play actions and moving the pocket. He understands the run game very, very well. And so, yeah, that doesn't surprise me one bit that they're leading the conference. They're also a get-after-you up-front group with their offensive line. They don't mind mixing it up and trying to move the line of scrimmage. I think their backs are physical runners. We've done a fairly good job of trying to make people go the distance or create turnovers and getting people in 3rd and long scenarios. So we got to do that again this week against a team that knows how to run the football, is very effective at running the football. The other thing is they're a great explosive play football team. I mean, when they throw the football, it's down the field, and, they come down with it. And I think back at UTSA, they had 2 huge explosive plays. I think they went 60, 70 yards when they needed them. They do that time after time. So we got to stop the run. We got to limit the explosive plays, create turnovers, and then that's how you play good defense.
Your running game on Friday, actually, was a little different. Kyra Boucher didn't play as much. LT Sanders comes in and plays really well. Are you guys looking to use him more as the season goes on?
Yeah, we'll mix LT in there. I felt like it was the time of year that you need to start mixing guys in there. He had shown us throughout fall camp that he was capable. We just needed to keep getting him ready, and with Kai being hurt, and we had some other injuries too, Jakari Moses was dinged up, Marquise Stepp, who hasn't had an opportunity to play yet because he had a knee, was dinged up. Davion was kind of that sole back, and we needed a good 1-2 punch. So we felt comfortable with LT coming in there, and he did a fantastic job, and we'll continue to roll him in there. And I think he has something different. That's what you want in your running back core. You want each guy to bring something different to the table, and LT does that. He's got good vision, runs with power, has good burst, good ball skills, can catch the ball out of the backfield. So we'll try to utilize him as well. Hopefully we can get Kai back this week. We'll see how the week progresses. He's trying really, really hard to get back. Hopefully we get him back, though.
Going back to North Texas, I know you talked about some of those explosive plays they're able to make. With their quarterback, Ani, an older guy, more mature guy probably than, a lot because of his age. What do you see that he does, well, and how do you try to make him uncomfortable back there?
Well, first thing is he's older. He's a guy that's played a lot of football. He's very good at down the field throws. I mean, he's very accurate with the football down the field. He's elusive. He can get out of trouble. He can create. He did that several times in UTSA game where he was able to get through the pressure and break out of the pocket and find a throw on the sideline. So, he's a guy that can give you problems for sure. we have to get after him, like we've done all year. We got to keep, and I say get after him, we got to make him keep thinking about, all right, are they blitzing me, are they dropping, or what's going on in the coverage, and it needs to be, every week we say make the quarterback beat you, and so we got to make sure that he's on top of his game too when facing the defense. But there's no question he's a good player. He's a very experienced player. He will make his plays in this game. All good players do. We just got to be able to limit the amount of plays that he makes.
When you look at their defense, it seems like led by Katie Davis, guy that tested the portal, decided to come back. I believe he had a 19-tackle game a couple weeks ago. What kind of challenges does he present? Just him individually.
Yeah, good player, all over the field. Obviously we know where he's at, all those kind of things. I think they're good up front too. They control a lot of scrimmage well. They can rush the passer well. They're for the most part what they're going to be, but they play the defense well, and that's what can frustrate you sometimes is you know what's happening, but can you execute? And so that's what we got to do offensively is be able to execute with what they give us. But yes, he's a good player, and I wouldn't just say him, but they play well as a unit, and I hate saying the term bend don't break, but they make you go the distance. They make you say, hey, we're going to try to get you in a 10, 12 play drive, and somewhere along the way you'll screw it up or you'll turn the ball over. And that's where we would like to be a little more explosive, and try to say, let's try to get this ball down the field, have a 6, 7 play drive and try to score, because it's going to play in their favor if you get into those long drives.
Going back to last season, this is a program, North Texas, that was struggling a little bit the first half of the year. Then they really kind of flipped the switch. Won out the rest of the regular season with UTSA, and now they're one of the top teams in CUSA this year. I guess from your perspective, what do you see that changed?
I don't think anything changed other than their head coach is a very good head coach. I know him well. He's going to have his players trained. When the hard times come, that's a testament to who you are and what your program is, and are you strong enough to overcome? And one thing Coach Luttrell is always going to do is he's going to make sure his guys overcome. So that doesn't surprise me, because they did hit a tough stretch there. But now they've worked through that, and they've come back this season. For them to do what they did last season under the circumstances, and I think it had the longest winning streak in the conference up to UTSA. That says a lot. So he's a good coach. He's a guy that always has his players ready to play, and it doesn't surprise me one bit that they're at where they're at right now.